Okay, good evening, everybody. This is Rotimi Eitayo, and we are live directly. And so while we just wait for others, if you're there, just get to share, get on to be a part of this event online. It's a great day. Good to be here. Good to have you all around. Hello, Nancy. How are you? I think Nancy's online. So I'll just use this opportunity to wait for other people to join us as we're about to begin. Great to see you, Nancy. Great to have you here. So I'm just trying to sort out the connection with Instagram. Well, thank you, Nancy. She's saying, I've been so consistent with this broadcast. Well, I have to. It's an appointment I have to keep. I'm thankful for people like you who join and stay glued even till the end. So we're trying to ensure that we add value the best possible way we can. I hope you all can hear me. So yes, we're trying to sort the remaining aspect out. All right. So tonight I'll be speaking on the Chat series on a topic, just one word, technology. And I have actually embarked on a little research to really discuss a lot and also probably discover more on the concept and the word technology. Hello, Elizabeth. Good to have you online. Technology has been something that a lot of people have, mentioned, used different words, and also have different perception about. I believe that technology is a good tool. I believe that technology is a lot to many people. However, it's quite important for you and I to have the right perspective of what technology is, to have the right perspective of the forms of technology, to have the right perspective of the dimensions of technology. And while thinking about what to share this week, I just got fascinated about a conversation I had with some few people the other time. It was also more or less tilting and directing, getting directed towards this line of thought. A lot of us seem to have a limited knowledge of what technology should be, of what technology is, and of how technology can be engaged. In fact, those who've demonstrated some fair share of expertise and knowledge and prowess with the subject matter have also shown us that there's more to the word technology and the concept of technology. I have also felt there's a need to bring to bear and to bring to the consciousness of people the misconception that is flying around with technology. And tonight I'm going to spend time to define technology, to expressively and extensively share the types of technology that exist and the concept that should be our leading pattern. And while discussing that, we'll just rub minds together and look at some few conversations around the key terms being used when we talk about technology. What are the terms that are being used? How do we How do we ensure that we're saying the same thing and we're probably on the same page? And so, just to say that we are going to be able to, have a better knowledge, and hopefully you'll find this very instructive and useful. So let's just start, and hopefully we believe the connection tonight will be super awesome. So once again, this is Teach Chat series with Rotimi Eitayo, and we do this every single week as much as we can. We spend time to rub minds together, exchange knowledge, and tonight is not going to be an exception. I believe for those who will be joining us and those who've just joined us, I'm speaking on the topic titled Technology. And let me just start all the same. So growing up, and while I was in secondary school, or sometimes you might call that college, there was something that struck my mind towards getting into the senior secondary school classes, and it's the subject matter called biology. I'm sure most of you probably would have had reasons to take the subject. Now, biology starts with an introduction, and the introduction simply talks about the definition of biology. And most times, the basic definition that is being shared is that biology is a word that can be broken into two, meaning that it has its origin from you being able to identify what the two component or key component words are. So when you look at the word biology, you have the word bio, and then you have logy. Now, it is being said that bio seems to stand for life, stands for, yes, life. And then when you look at logy really means study, or the study of something, or the basics of something, or the rudiments of something, or understanding the tenets of something. So when you look at the word biology, you have life and study, meaning biology simply means the study of human life, the study of life, the rudiment of life, and like we used all those other definitions. That's simply what biology is. Now, coming into tonight's session, it will be nice and it will be proper for us to use this foundational knowledge to get into the world of the word technology. Now, tonight's session, I will just be very brief and straightforward and straight to the point. Technology is also a word that has two major components. You have tech and you have knowledge. When you look at technology, it's safe to say that the word technology is broken or coming together, is the coming together of tech or technical and study. So it means you could refer to technology as the study of technical skills, the study of technical things, the study of technical processes, the study of the use and activity and resources of technical things, right? And which simply means that everyone, whether you have the appellation of a tech expert or what have you, you need to understand this rudiment. In fact, it's lack of understanding or comprehension of this definition that has made a lot of people stay far away from the concept, from the philosophy, from the space and the word. In fact, a lot of people don't have courage demonstrated whenever the word technology pops up. Technology is definitely not the ability to use computers. Technology is not all about computers. Technology is not all about the internet. Technology is not all about gadgets. Please understand that. And so when you see somebody say, I'm a tech expert, we need to understand that it does not alienate us, from being able to deploy. And the reason is this: once something is far from your use, far from your knowledge, mastery almost becomes impossible. Impossible. So let's take this closely. So if biology is the study of life, technology also can easily be said in a way to be referenced as the study and mastery of technical things. So when we look at the word technology, a little research on the definition online will give you many things, and that's where you probably start your discovery or your journey to the discovery of what technology is. So I have a definition here. It says technology is defined as the application of scientific knowledge for practical purposes, especially in industry. I repeat, a definition says that technology is the application of scientific knowledge for practical purposes, especially in industry. Another definition says that technology is the tool and machine, or technology is described as tools and machines that help solve problems or do new things. I repeat, tools and machines that help solve problems to do new things are referred to as technology. Now, the third interesting definition, which I really love a lot, says that technology is the using of resources to solve a problem, such as knowledge, skill, processes, techniques, tools, and raw material. Now, if you have been following closely to the different types of definition I just gave, you realize that number one, it speaks of technology to be much more than a study. It speaks of technology to be something of application. It speaks of technology to be something of leverage. It speaks of technology to be something of implement, tools or machine. Now, coming to our own reality, we'll find out that a lot of times when the word technology is used, we most times center on machines, gadgets, appliances, organizations, especially foreign ones, who have something to do, with the use of gadgets, with the use of softwares, and we believe that that's what technology is all about. Friends, that is not what technology is only about. That's just a dimension to technology. And it is with this understanding that technology is defined as the application of scientific knowledge. It is also defined as the using of resources. When these definitions are part of what technology is, then it simply means that most of us will have the opportunity to be able to run towards the concept as opposed to refraining from the concept. We'll be able to find confidence and leverage as opposed to thinking that we do not belong to the few 1% or less than 1% who are authorized to do something about it. And that's the problem I have with trend. Trend has the possibility of shaping a wrong reality just because of the people championing the thought or the thought pattern. And so once you see someone who is able to help create a marketing strategy, or you've seen somebody who's been able to show massive following, or you've seen someone who's been able to show dexterity with handling gadgets, you totally leave the understanding that technology belongs to such people. Whereas technology is a tool available to all. Technology is you using resources to solve a problem. And I'm sure you agree with me, you quite agree with me that we have several problems in our lives. We have several problems in our businesses, in our processes. We have several problems in our organizations. We have several problems in our sector and industry. We have several problems across the world. So what it simply means is that ability to recognize that when you use resources to solve problem, technology is in place. So let me take your mind back memory lane. How many of you remember the typewriter? The typewriter solved a problem, yes. And back then, the typewriter is also considered as technology. Technology is not a concept that just emerged the last 10 years or 15 years or so. It's not the solution that came up in the scene in the last 20, 25 or 30 years. Technology is pretty much tied to what the definition is. When you want to know something, you start with the definition of that thing. Ability to understand what the thing means is also able to fine-tune your disposition to that matter. So I'm sure that we've laid it to rest. When it comes to the word technology, we're not just talking about gadgets, we're not talking about websites, we're not talking about all those things alone. Technology is broader than that. It's a concept that you easily can explore. So I'm going to break this down with some keywords that I would like you to pay attention to. One of the definitions I read said that technology is the application of scientific knowledge. Now, I'm someone who believes that we need to make things simple and plain. We need to make things to the point of clarity to prevent any form of ambiguity or any form of misunderstanding and the likes. So let's look at the word scientific knowledge. When you say technology is the application of scientific knowledge, does that mean that if you studied arts in the university, if you're a business administration graduate, technology is not applicable to you? What it simply means is this: we need to look at what scientific knowledge is. And I decided to look it up in the dictionary, and online I noticed that scientific knowledge refers to knowledge of a person that must be based on methods, procedures of science, rather than a subjective belief or unsupported speculation. I repeat, scientific knowledge is referred to as knowledge of a person or thing that is based on the methods and procedures of science, rather than a subjective belief or unsupported speculation. So it simply means that if technology is the application of scientific knowledge, it is also said that technology is the application of tested and proven procedures that are not under speculative means or any form of assumption. And that's what it simply means. So scientific knowledge is not strange. So when we talk about technology, it's not just talking about STEAM or STEM. It's far, far beyond that. There's technology everywhere. All around you is technology. All around you is technology. Parenting involves technology. Parenting itself is some degree of technology. Raising a child, mentoring is some dimension of technology. And this knowledge that I'm sharing today will probably help one or two people out there to understand that once you are able to solve problems with solutions that are not speculative, solutions that are not defective, solutions that are based on empirical findings, what you've done is you've brought in the process of technology. While growing up, I had the privilege, of interacting with my grandmother, and while interacting with her, I recall growing up there was something that was pretty much technology in its own right. We had refrigerators, but there was a particular thing, and I'll give you the name shortly, that was more or less like a storage point for water. It was made out of, I think, earthen clay or something like that. But the truth about it is this: we preferred to take water from that clay pot because the clay pot in itself was some level of an insulative material made with. Therefore, when you take water from that clay pot, the clay pot has the capacity to give you very chilled water, at least beyond room temperature. And it baffled me and it beat my mind that how can clay pot not plugged into electricity provide such level of water that is actually, more or less chilled. And in my part of the world where I come from my tribe, the Yorubas had a name for it. They call it amu, more or less like where you take water to drink. And I'm sure this is something that I'm sure if you are not just under 20 or near your early 30s, you will discover that this is some reality that is everywhere, especially in Nigeria and Africa to be precise, where a clay pot was itself technology. Now, most people will not agree to that, or people did not see it in that way. But what if this was long before the social media space or the climate change era, but that is very, very true. What if that clay pot was branded, was shipped, was exported deliberately to the entire world? That itself would have been some level of technology, as equal as technology as Facebook, as equal as the technology as a laptop, as equal as technology as any other thing. For those who are joining, I'd like to welcome you all. Great to have you here. I can't really see your names, but if you say hello, I believe I'll be able to see your names. I think that Nick Peters is here, I believe. Pastor Chike, welcome. Thank you for joining. And everyone who's been able to join. I'm speaking on the topic technology, and I'm trying to demystify our response and our approach, and also our perception and philosophy of what technology is. And this has affected many Nigerians and Africans, and our numbers have not become a leverage onto us because of our understanding of what technology is. And so in this short broadcast, I'm just going to try to address the concept behind the word technology and what it truly means. And I started by saying that when you look at the word technology, you have a similitude to the word biology. Biology, we're told and described as the study of human life or study of life, because bio is life, logy is more or less study, rudiment, principle, right? And so when we talk about technology, it's also something similar that applies to that. It means we're talking about the study of technical things, the study of technical processes, the study and the activity of technical things, the study of deployment of resources in a technical way. And we have three definitions we're working with tonight. The first definition says that technology is the application of scientific knowledge for practical purposes, especially in the place of industry. Now, the second side of it is that technology is the tool and machine that helps to solve problems or do things in a new way. And the third side of it is that technology is a resource that is used to solve problems, or is the using of resources, to solve problems that are based on knowledge, skill, processes, and the likes. Now, there's only one definition out of the three that stresses the use of tools and machines, and which I was trying to explain that even the typewriter itself is what we call technology. And I use the illustration of the clay pot, and also let me take a step further to add another illustration. If you know the sign language that people actually have for those people with special needs or disability, you find out that also in raising children, you would have seen technology being demonstrated one way or the other, right? We had parenting tactics and strategies where children are being raised with just the movement of the eyes. When you're growing up, if you're an African child, there was technology back then, which I would probably call the beginning of facial recognition. Because when your parent looks at you without saying anything in Africa, you get the message. I think that was the beginning of Bluetooth, actually, because it was able to solve a problem, without using a machine or tool. And while it might sound funny, but that's the honest truth. Because when you look at the people who came up with all this facial recognition. We talked about body language, and there are people called body language experts. So it means that verbal communication can be enhanced with the use of technology of body language. So even in our body language, there's something that can be deployed in technology. And this is why every thought leader or every creative person and everyone that is within the learning space needs to understand this principle for themselves, that we are all crusaders and campaigners of technology. Technology is not a specialized subject area alone. It's not a specialized subject mastery alone. Technology is almost like life in itself. It's almost like the way of life. Once an individual or a group of people or an organization can identify how to improve something or how to solve a problem that is plaguing a society, the process of applying something that is tested, that is subject to empirical findings, that involves logical understanding without mere assumption, that process is technology. Now, the next thing I want you to be familiar with is the word industry. Most people might be thinking, well, what am I saying? Industry is defined as the economic activity that is concerned with the processing of raw materials and manufacturing of goods and services. So what it means is this: if when you solve a problem, the way and manner with which you solve that problem can deliver value to lead to production of goods and services, to lead to exchange of goods and services, or to lead to value from the exchange of goods and services, that is pure technology. And so when we are talking about technology, everyone actually is a technologist, a technology expert, a technology professional, because as long as you're in the business of solving problems, you're in the business of technology. And no wonder the phenomenons of the technical world, the apps that we have, the Facebooks of this world, the Instagram, the WhatsApps, and the likes, no wonder they gravitate to a huge followership, because it is almost impossible to say that that's not technology without interacting with every day. The success of Facebook today is also traceable to the principle of what we've just defined, because everybody's solving the problems they can with the resource of Facebook, with the resource of internet. What it simply means is, once you decide that you are not helpless, that you can solve your problem, the medium, whatsoever the medium might be, becomes secondary. Now that medium is the vehicle, right? Is the vehicle that delivers on technology, as the case may be. And so while doing the study, I noticed that there are 20 types of what is considered as technology. One is communication technology, meaning that there are resources in the place of communication, right? That ability to solve problems in communication would easily lead to the fact or the reality of technology. So while we say communication technology, we know that there's a problem of communication that telephone or the mobile system are come to solve, and that's why they are within the communication space, communication technology space, information communication technology. Sometimes we say ICT. And then there's also what we call the construction technology. That's a type of technology, meaning that it is the tools and machines that help in the construction space. It is also referred to as resources deployed to solve a problem within the construction space. And there's also something called technology or education technology. It's not the study of a degree course, but it is actually the sum total of the processes involved in solving the problems within education. And then we have the assistive technology. That's talking about supporting disability and the market of disability. We have medical technology. We have information technology. We have entertainment and media technology, we have business technology, we have agriculture technology, we have transportation technology, we have energy and power, we have manufacturing, we have technology in the arts and music, we have appliances, we have clothing and accessories, we have science and tech, we have space, we have robotics, we have artificial intelligence, and now we have super intelligence. What I'm trying to say, guys, is this: that technology is broad, and so anyone who begins to limit himself or herself, their group or their association, they will be doing a lot of disservice. There are many growth spectrums and growth areas that we can all leverage from, and technology today is something that we're just discussing, just so that everyone can have the key to leading forward. And so some of you might say, well, but Mr. Ita, you mentioned the machine. I'll mention machine shortly, and then we'll take it further. So when you say machine is simply defined as the apparatus that uses mechanical power and is hung on several parts. In fact, it's a definite functional gadget or item, that brings together the performance of particular task. So if you look at it, it's an apparatus that uses mechanical power that hangs on several parts. That's what a machine is. But then when you look at resources, which is the definition I decided to stick by, when you look at resources, it says resources are stocks or supply of money, material, staff, or other assets that can be drawn on by a person or organization in order to function effectively. The goal of tonight's T-Chat series is to be able to establish the fact that technology is not a far-off concept. It's a reach-to concept. It's a me-too concept. It's a concept that you can touch. It's a concept that is tangible. It's a content or concept that is experiential. It's something that you and I can spend time to build mastery on without being restricted by a medium, a platform, or an existing model. So remember, when you hear, next time you hear the word technology, do not feel it's not involving you. Do not feel it's not something that involves you. All right? The world we evolve around is a world of technology, and a lot of people are registering technical advancement from left to right every day. And so wherever you're doing and whatever you find yourself in, I want you to ensure that you begin to apply this principle to your own advantage. Technology is a tool. Technology can also be leveraged. It's something that you and I should begin to run towards rather than running from. We should not always outsource all our level of involvement on technological matters to other people. In fact, the beauty and the world of technology will begin to expand and become a lot creative and innovative the moment you have more people bringing processes into it, asking questions how to improve things, and thereby technology emerges, and thereby we have an advanced world. Right? I told you that tonight we will not be spending so much time. I have an appointment to catch. We would have started by 5, but we had network connection issues. However, I will try to look for opportunity to spend more time to dwell on this subject matter, and also to bring you other conversations that we can use as building blocks to what I've shared. Remember, technology is not laptop. Laptop is a tool of technology. Technology is not just internet. Technology is not just gadgets. Technology is not all the fanciful things, whether it's hardware or software. Technology is hidden in the purpose of what it is called. And it is called, number one, knowledge that is applied to lead to solutions of problems. It is seen as a tool or machine, but also it is considered the use of resources towards advancing a particular thing or the other. My name is Rotimi Itayo. And I'm excited that you were able to be a part of this today. Thanks for those who joined. Nancy, keep up the good work. Thank you for always joining. Thank you, Nike Peters. Thank you for everyone who cared to listen and spend their time. Until I come your way next time, be good. Have a great weekend ahead of you. And it's signing off from Rotimi. Take care and God bless you. Bye.